Hello buddy, TKUSing here, and I missed out on Titans Return, and when I say missed out, I really mean missed out, because if you have not, in case you didn't know, Hasbro re-released a couple of Titans Return figures as part of a Walmart exclusive line, and they kind of rebranded them with like a G1 style packaging into this like retro Headmasters way like line, and they gave them new paint apps and new head sculpts to make them look a little more G1 accurate, and I was able to get my hands on a couple of them. I got Chromedome and Hardhead, and today I am going to talk about them, and spoiler alert, they are just awesome. So without further ado, let's jump into my review of the reissues of Chromedome and Hardhead. We're going to start off with Chromedome because I got him first. Here is our new Headmaster Chromedome, and I'm just going to be honest with you, both of these figures might as well have been WFC trilogy figures. They are so good. These are probably the definitive versions of the G1 Headmasters. They are just fantastic. So, taking a look at Chromedome's details, everything is really nice. You have the nice silver and red paint apps on the chest there, the nice Autobot logo. The head sculpt is very nice. It's very Chromedome. I've always really liked Chromedome as a character. He was always so cool. Nice silver paint apps right there on the knees. Very nice. He cleans up very nicely. The hood piece on his back kind of compresses in to his back and really doesn't really give him much of a backpack, which is really great. And he really does capture the overall look of Chromedome. I do think he might be a little too wide, and I think the third party version, that one actually maybe did his robot mode a little bit better because it was a little more skinnier overall, but that's just a minor little complaint in an overall really great looking robot mode. Articulation is where these figures kind of lack a little bit, because it seems like articulation wasn't really the focal point during Titans Return, but they do have some decent amount. You have some 90-degree bend at the elbows, some decent knee joints, but you don't have any ankle pivot whatsoever. The head joint, it is of course a Headmaster, so we'll get into that in just a second here, but the head is actually pretty decently movable. You can actually get quite a bit of movement there because it's kind of on a dumbbell joint, because the Headmaster's head is on a ball joint, and then the actual head, of course, is on a ball joint, so you can kind of get a little bit of double movement right there. So yeah, head movement is very good on both of these guys, and overall I just really like the way he looks. Now, talking about his Headmaster, this is Stylor, and you just want to pop him up, and then you can just open him up like this, and there you have Stylor. This is Chromedome's Headmaster, and he is very cool. Stylor is a very cool name. I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, really nice. You can see they gave him a nice little dot of paint there on his face to give him a nice orange. And yeah, it's really fun. Honestly, the Headmaster gimmick was never something I ever really hated on. So yeah, very cool little Headmaster dude right there. I like that they gave him a little spot of paint. And his head is on a ball joint, like I said earlier, so you can get a little bit of articulation. There's pretty much nothing in the knees. All you can really do is get him into a sitting pose, which is what you'll be doing for vehicle mode. But very nice overall. I really do like Stylor. And of course, to put him back in head mode, you just fold up his knees in like that. Basically, just turn him into a ball and plug him in to the head port right there. Very self-explanatory. And there you have Chromedome back finished. Accessory-wise, you get two guns with Chromedome. You get this gun, which is the only one I use because the other one is really, I don't like it at all. But this one is the original one you get. And it would be really nice, honestly, if they just give you two of these, because that's way more G1 accurate. And honestly, I feel like they should have, because they give you this gun as well. And this is something that Titans Return did that I never really thought looked all that cool, where they give you these like guns that are like a sled, and you can like put the Titan, the Headmaster in there and have him like manning the gun. I'll show you that when we get to vehicle mode, because it doesn't really make any sense to do it in robot mode. But what you can do is you can of course just give him his guns, and you can plug these on to either side. And while this one looks fine, this one is just really weird looking. It looks like some kind of weird ass crossbow or something. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. I really wish they would have just gave him two of these guns, and honestly that probably would have been cheaper for them anyway, because this thing's way bigger and probably costs a lot more plastic to make. So yeah, it would have been really nice if they could have just given him two of those instead. But hey, it is what it is. It's what they decided to do. Can't really change it. If you really want to, you could buy two, and then you'd have two guns. But I don't think I'll do that. But still, a really great Chromedome overall. I honestly love this figure. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I love this figure. So there you go. There you have Chromedome. Accessories are great. Overall robot mode look is absolutely awesome. I love this figure. Alrighty. Now let's talk about Hardhead, and I honestly I'm going to try by the end of this video to tell you which of these two I prefer, but honestly right now I have no idea. They're both so good, but here is Hardhead, and this figure is so great, and honestly there's probably a lot more you can do with this figure over Chromedome, although he does have a couple issues. I wouldn't really say that Chromedome really has any issues really, other than like a lack of articulation in some spots. But he actually has got some issues. They're all pretty much in vehicle mode, but they do exist. But here is Hardhead, and he looks fantastic. You can see the head sculpt right there is really great. Really great Hardhead head sculpt. Absolutely love that. His giant cannon on the back, which you can take, and it's on a couple joints here, and you can bring it up over his shoulder, just like in G1, which is absolutely awesome. I truly love the way that looks. And I haven't checked if this is Blast Effect compatible. You know what? I'll check real quick. Alright, let's see. I don't see why it wouldn't be, so let's see here. Well, it's a little tight, but I guess it kind of works if you kind of fudge it a little bit, but it is a little tight. It doesn't want to go all the way in there, so I guess it's not completely 5mm, but I think you could make it work overall. But yeah, really cool feature that you can have the cannon come up over his shoulder right there, or you can just have it down like that. And the cannon itself is on a peg. It can be pulled off of the back, and this is one issue this is one of the issues I have with this figure, because this is kind of loose. But if you really don't like it, you could kind of fix it with some super glue. You could either make it tighter or just kind of super glue it in place if you want to. And I was thinking about doing that, but honestly, I think I would rather not, because I actually like all the posability that it gives you with the little cannon thing. It actually gives you quite a bit of posability. You can even like have it like angled over that way. So I don't know. I don't really think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I could change my mind, but overall, I think that the posability that it offers is worth the slight looseness it has, because it's just very cool. You can give more of a mortar thing right there, or just have it like rotating off to the side there. Really cool. I always really like this kind of playability. It always is really neat. And of course, you can just store it on the back just like that, which is really great. The paint apps are really nice on it. You can see he has these nice silver and red paint apps on the arms there, which look really good. And down here as well, he pops. He looks really cool on the shelf, because he's like this really bright green, and he just I love this figure, man. I really do. If I really have to pick a favorite between these two, I'm leaning more towards him being my favorite, because he is just really freaking good. Now, joint tolerance wise, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is kind of weird, because these two both kind of are a little bit floppy. If you see here, not so much Hardhead, but they both do have a little bit of flop to them. But honestly, it doesn't actually, like, when you have them in hand, you don't really feel it, which is something strange, because they're on these ball joints, and you would kind of expect these to be annoying, but honestly, in hand, they don't actually feel all that bad, and you honestly do have to kind of give it a little bit of force to actually have those shake. So honestly, I don't think the joint tolerance is bad at all. Although I will say this, on my Hardhead, I watched a lot of reviews on this guy, and nobody else pointed this out, so this could just be my copy, but this leg on mine just will not swivel. It swivels, but it just comes right off of the mushroom peg. This leg's fine. This one swivels just fine. And I could probably fix this if I really cared. I could probably just cut a little bit of extra plastic out, and that would fix it. But I literally cannot swivel this without the leg coming off. So I did just want to point that out real quick. But once again, if I really want to, I could probably fix it. But there you have that. Just like Chromedome, he doesn't have any ankle pivot, but overall I think the articulation is fine. You can get a little more than 90 degrees on him. You can just, well, like the tiniest little bit of more. And the way they did the hands, they actually gave him an extra little piece here, so we actually will have some wrist swivel, which is always really nice. Wrist swivel is becoming one of those things that, like, they don't always give it. So when you see wrist swivel on a figure, you're like, oh hey, that's nice. But yeah, overall, I love this figure. I think he looks so cool. And there they are together, two headmasters. If you're wondering if I'm interested in getting Brainstorm and Highbrow, yes, I absolutely am. It's honestly just a matter of time before I grab them and pull the trigger on them, because I would love to get more of these, because these figures are freaking great. And the Decepticon ones too. Like the whole retro reissue, I want every single one of them, especially if they're like these two, because these figures are fantastic. Now, for some comparisons. As you can see, they scale pretty much perfectly with your current WFC trilogy figures. I honestly think Hasbro really meant for these to be like the definitive versions along with your WFC trilogy figures of these characters. So yeah, real quick before we get into the transformation though, I completely forgot to talk about Hardhead's gun right here, mainly because I don't really use it that often, because while it is a nice gun, it's got some decent sculpting here, a nice stock on the back. I don't know, I don't really think he really needs it. He's got this giant shoulder cannon over the back. I don't really think he really needs this gun, and there's not really a good place to put it in vehicle mode, so I don't really use it all that much, but hey, I cannot deny that it's a fine little accessory, and you can give it to him like that, and there you go. He's got more firepower than he realistically needs, but yeah, there you have that. And once again, this thing can come out, and if you really want to, you can give it to him as a gun as well, so he could just be armed to the freaking teeth, man. This dude does not mess around. So there you go. There you have his little gun accessory right there. Also, if you want to, there's not really any place to store it on the back, but you can plug it into that port up there on the cannon and have an even bigger cannon. And honestly, if you bring it down like this, now you actually do have some storage because you can just plug it into that port right there. So there you go. There you have his accessory. Overall fine, but I honestly don't use it that much because I just don't really think he needs more than this ginormous ass cannon that he can just bring up over his shoulder like that. So there you have it. Alrighty, now we're going to go into transformation. I'm going to transform Chromedome first and then Hardhead, and we'll get back to you in a second. Alright, so Chromedome's transformation is like stupid proof. You just remove the headmaster, get rid of our accessories, and we can get started. So first up, we're going to flip the hands in. They're on like these tiny little ratchets, and then you're going to come to the feet here, flip the feet in like this, and then you're going to connect them into the feet together like this, and they peg into a couple spots right there. And then you're going to take the backpack here. We're going to untab this. You can feel it untab, and then it also tabs it up here, and you're going to untab that as well. Bring that up, and then you can take the waist, swivel it around like this, and then take the torso piece here, just get your fingernail under there, and then just pop that out, and bring it up on this double hinge, and just get it flat like that. And then you're going to take the legs here, you're going to open up these panels right here, and you're going to fold this in on the double hinge just like that. Come to the bottom here, and then connect the legs together just like that, kind of like some of the Deluxe Class Cyberverse figures. And then you're going to take the arms, you're going to bring them back, and these are going to like perfectly fit into this little spot right here and seamlessly connect all that together. Same thing on the other side here. So you bring this back on the double hinge, and this is going to seamlessly fill out that entire thing of the car right there. Then you take the hood part here. We're going to bring this down, and we have two slots on either side. You can see we have two slots on either side. Those are going to go into two tabs on those sides right there. Bring that down and just get those pegged in those little tabs right there and get that locked in. And then finally, we're going to take Stylor here, open him up just like this, and get him into a little sitting pose right here. And he doesn't plug in unlike our other dude here, but we can just sit him into this little thing here, and then we can just take the window thing here, bring this down on the double hinge, and then we have two slots on either side that are going to peg into two tabs on either side. And there you have Chromedome in his absolutely awesome looking car mode. Now for Hardhead, we're going to remove his gun, we're going to fold his turret back to the back there, and we're going to remove Duros. Now I like to now for Duros, I spin his head around like I spin the headmaster around his head like that, so that he actually is a little more solid in there. I don't know why, but it just makes him feel a little better. So just do that, and then we're going to take the hands here, bring them in, and then we're going to bring this, and this is just kind of accordion in on itself, just like that. And you're gonna do the same thing on the other side right here. So fold that in, and then just get that accordion in, and that's just kind of compress just like that. And then take the feet, flip them in just like this, and we can now take the backpack here, and we have a slot that tabs into the back right there, and untab that, and this whole thing is just going to unfold out just like that. So the whole torso is just gonna unfold out like that, which is really, really cool. Bring the arms down, and then you're going to have a tab right there, and a slot, and a little, like, it's not really a tab, it's like the, that peg right there into that little peg hole, and it's very thin, and honestly, it doesn't do a really good job of holding that in, but we'll talk about that more in a second. But you just get those in, and just get them to get in as much as you can, because like I said, they really don't like to stay in place. But you're gonna do that, and then we're going to take the waist piece here, we're going to bring this, and it's gonna untab from there, bring that piece back, just like that, and then you're gonna take the tread sections here, bring them up, and then you have a, bring out the leg section there, and then you have a tab that's gonna go into that slot right there in the leg, and just get that in just like that. And then same thing on the other side, bring that in, and get that tabbed in place, and finally take the crotch piece here, and untab it, and bring it down just like that, and then make sure everything gets back to tab together, because like I said, these really don't stay together at all. Oh my god, it's so obnoxious. Come on, stay in there. And finally, we can just get the cockpit opened up here, and take Duros. We're going to sit him down into this position, and then plug him in to this right here, and he actually does a tab in, unlike Stylor with Chromedome. You can just make that right there, and close that up. And there you have Chromedome and Hardhead in their all modes. Transformation on both of these are really, really, really fun in my opinion. I think Chromedome's is a little more fun than Hardhead, and if you remember me saying earlier, I actually do have a couple issues to talk about with Hardhead in his vehicle mode, but we're gonna start off with Chromedome here. So here is Chromedome's vehicle mode, and I honestly love this thing. Like, it honestly feels like it has a lot more mass than most of the WFC trilogy car bots, because I don't know, he just feels a lot bigger than them. I don't really know why, but he really does. He feels a lot more chunky and bigger than them, and he just looks so cool. Like, it's 100% Chromedome's alt mode, and I just think it looks sweet. This really cool cyber car. They made the wheels like this like transparent plastic, and it's really cool, and I really, really like it, honestly. I do have one issue with Chromedome's vehicle mode, and that is that Stylor doesn't really plug in to this spot here. You do kind of sit him in there, and he doesn't really plug in. He doesn't have his seatbelt on. He doesn't have his seatbelt on, so he's just gonna be wiggling wiggling around in there, and it's not the best, especially when you compare it to Hardhead here, because Hardhead here, what is this guy's name? Duros, that's his name. Duros actually plugs in there like really well. You can see he actually literally plugs into a tab in there, and he doesn't fall out. So he's completely safe. He's got his seatbelt on in there. But Stylor here, like if he gets in a crash, Stylor's gonna fly through that freaking window. So yeah, overall, I really do like Chromedome's vehicle mode a lot, and the transformation is super fun, and it's really easy, but it is really fun and pretty satisfying overall, especially the way the arms kind of just close in there perfectly. Very, very, very nice. And aside from that one little issue with Stylor, I think he is really great. Now, for accessory storage, you can just plug the guns into the ports on either side here, which is really, really, really bad. I always hate weapon storage like this, but I obviously have to show it. So you can have that. But now let's talk about the sled gun here, because we can take Stylor out of here, and he'll honestly be a lot more safe and secure in this sled gun, which says a lot, doesn't it? But you can take him here, and we can put him into a little sitting pose, just like this, and we can plug him in to the little sled gun on here, and he will actually plug in because there is actually a tab now. So you can plug him in there, or maybe not. I don't know. This is the first time I've tried this, so maybe he doesn't actually plug into here, but I believe he does. Yeah, no, well, he's supposed to, because there's absolutely a tab there. There we go, got him. So there you have him in the little sled gun right there. And blast effect compatibility? I don't know. Can you just kind of shove it on there? No, not really. Well, I mean, you might be able to, but you might ruin your blast effect, so I wouldn't really recommend it. But overall, that is what you got there. I don't like it. It's really dumb, and it really ruins the car mode. And another thing you can do is you can also take the gun and you can plug it into the port on there, and you can have an even bigger, more ridiculous gun right there if you really want to, which honestly, that looks a lot better, I'm going to be honest with you. But still not good, but I do like that better because it looks like he actually has like a more, I don't know, just looks more threatening overall. But another thing you can do is you can take him out of this little port here, and you can, ooh, that took the arm out though. And you have these two slots on the bottom here, and these can actually tab into these two little tabs on the top here. And this is, once again, I'm not a fan of this, but I do have to show it to you. And you can plug this onto the top here and have him doing that right there, which honestly does look a lot better than the like little off-mounted car thing. But overall, a decent little feature. You can have some fun with it if you really want to, but me personally, I won't be utilizing this feature again. But overall, I just leave the weapons off to the side there. But overall, I love Chromedome's alt mode. I honestly think it is sweet. And if there was just a little tab for Stylor to actually be safe and secure in the alt mode, I think he probably would have had no problems with me whatsoever. But you know, that one little tab really would have been nice. But overall, I really like Chromedome's alt mode. Hardhead's alt mode, however, he has got some issues, and the big issue is he doesn't really like to stay together in this mode. None of his locking stuff, aside from the whole torso that just kind of folds out, really locks in place all that well. And what I mean by that is, first of all, the legs here, these don't really lock in place all that well. These are always wiggling around, and you can kind of hear them like rattling around. These tabs aren't particularly great either. These don't really hold it in that well. And these tabs, oh my goodness, forget about it. These pop out like when you breathe on them. These tiny little pegs, like they barely even go in at all. These tiny little pegs that go into there. This really needed a better locking point because these just don't stay in. You can see that one popped out. That one just popped out again. Yeah, these are not great. Now, you might be able to fix these by thickening up the slot or the tab with some super glue, but overall, I really wish that those had a better locking point overall. That would have been a lot better. He does, aside from that though, he is really good. He does have a nice place for Duros to sit right there, which I really like. Or, if you don't want to sit him in there and you'd rather have him manning the turret, or honestly, if you want to have another Titan Master manning the turret, this little piece of the gun actually opens up, and then it double hinges down, and you have that right there, and then you can plug Duros or any Titan Master into this section right here of the gun. And I don't really think he actually tabs in this one, but you can just sit him in there, and I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah, he does actually tab in, you can see right there. So there you go, and you can actually have him manning that gun if you want to. And if you really want to, you could have another Titan Master actually piloting the little spot right there if you want to put Stylor in there, or any Titan Master you may have. So yeah, nice nice integration right there with the Titan Master, and I also believe that you can take the the Titan Masters also have these little holes on their feet, and you can actually plug these into these little spots on these figures right there, which is something I remember seeing a lot when I was watching reviews of old Titans Return figures. But yeah, there you go. You can also do that as well. So you have 4 different sections here you can actually plug them onto. So that is pretty fun as well. So overall, I do like his alt mode, and it rolls really well. Like, you wouldn't really expect something like this to roll very well, but honestly, this is like one of the best rolling alt modes that I have. He just glides along the floor, which is really, really, really great. But yeah, while I do like this alt mode, I really wish that these had tabbed in a little more securely, and these as well, honestly. Like nothing really wants to tab in this alt mode, which is a little unfortunate. Like, you can see me holding here, and this leg is just like wiggling around, and trust me, you noticed that. This one, not so much. Maybe I'm missing something here. Is there something supposed to tab in here that I'm not seeing here? I don't really see anything. I don't know. I'll probably look into that a little more. It looks like no, it's the same exact thing on both sides. I don't know. Maybe this is just a thing on mine where this one just wiggles around like that, and it's not the most satisfying thing. But yeah, overall, I do like Hardhead's alt mode, and honestly, when it comes to H-Tanks, I'm not usually a fan of them, but this is not bad in my opinion. Maybe it's just because I love how well this guy rolls, man. He rolls really, really well. For me, if alt mode rolls well, that for some reason always makes me happy, and I don't really understand why, because I never use like alt modes or anything like that to actually roll them, but for some reason, I don't know, it just feels good. But there you have the alt modes for Chromedome and Hardhead right there. Overall, very solid in my opinion. And there we have it. So final thoughts on the reissues of Hardhead and Chromedome. I just love these two. I absolutely love these figures. Honestly, I think these figures could 100% pass off as your definitive WFC trilogy, Chromedome and Hardhead. These are really, really outstanding figures. Both of them very, very, very lack of flaws, honestly. Like, both of these, I really don't have that many things to complain about. I think Chromedome's maybe could have had a little bit better articulation. Like, the way his arms work are a little hindered, and obviously always would prefer ankle pivot, but overall, not a huge complaint. Just wanted to point that out. But I do have some issues with Hardhead, of course, him not really tabbing together all that well in vehicle mode. But aside from that, which really isn't that big a deal in the grand scheme of things, because as long as you just like manhandle him, as long as you maybe just hold it gently, and honestly, if you really want to, you probably might be able to fix that just by thickening up some of the tabs with some super glue. At the end of the day, both of these are really outstanding figures in my opinion, and they absolutely have gotten my recommendations. And if the rest of the line is just as great as these, I am definitely in for a treat, because they're just fantastic. I honestly love them. So I'm gonna give both Hardhead and Chromedome S tiers. I think these figures are really, really, really awesome. And if you want a version of either of these for your Chug collection, I doubt you'll have any other. What about you? I doubt you need to look any further than these versions right here. These are really, really, really great figures. So there you have it, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the reissues of Hardhead and Chromedome in the comment section down below. Do you have the original release? Do you prefer those releases? What's your thoughts on the new releases? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and your thoughts on the video as well. If you enjoyed the video, maybe give me a like and subscribe for more content along this line in the future. And this is DK Guillotine, signing out.